Zee-ba-boom, diddly-doom, bow, what a diddly-doom. All right, boys. Oh, you know what time it is, Big Daddy. Buckle up. All right. So we got these teachers out here, man, and they quitting by the dozen, baby. If you're new here, welcome. Okay, let's have some fun. Okay, let's get deep. Let's have a good time. Did that go on? Okay, that went off. All right, so we're gonna start it off heavy here. We get right into it. Class has begun. If you guys will turn to page 4, paragraph 3, sentence 2, and let's follow along.
Me and a lot of other teachers are sick and tired of being a punching bag every single day. It's like, I don't think you guys realize what they expect us to do. They expect us to not only teach, create curriculum, grade, go to meetings, but they also expect us to be a counselor, a security guard, and just all these different things all wrapped up in one. And it's like, that's too much work for one person, especially when you're getting paid dog shit.
You know, you never actually think about that, you know, because me growing up going to school, I'm 34, so it's been a while since I've been to school. But you never really think about that. You know, you think teachers have the summer off with you. They don't. They can't afford to have summers off. It's classic. But you never really think about how much work actually goes into what they have to do. Luckily, I was always super respectful in school, even though I never did my work. And, you know, I was in summer school most of the time. But it's just crazy to think that. And this guy, if you're new here, I like to read your guys' comments throughout the video. Keep it fun, keep it light, keep it loose. This guy goes, you have to love the job qualifications now. Bachelor's required, master's preferred, 2 years experience, flexible schedule, starting salary $16 an hour, and you know, renting a one bedroom, you have to make $18 an hour. I put that in here because, you know, with a teacher, you got to go to college. And most teachers, from what I understand, generally have a master's degree. So, you know, one, you got to do all this schooling, right? And then now you're going in and you're teaching young kids how to get a profession. But here's the funny part, is you're not even making enough money to live. And it sucks. It does. You know, I get it. Job security, I guess. If you're lucky enough to have a pension, I guess it's worthwhile. But anyways, this lady digs a little more deeper on how the hell you afford to live as a teacher nowadays.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes. But her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teachers.
If you guys are new here, I do some car payment videos where we kind of just look at people's car payments and just have a good laugh about it. Yeah, that's like having a car payment. Look at this situation. It'll literally make or break somebody, of whether you think $400 is a good deal or not. In my opinion, it's crap. I wouldn't do it.
Salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, no. I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them, for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt.
And how she was talking about, like, the stay-at-home mom and all that. You know, back in the day, we live in an age now where you guys, don't take this the wrong way, but everybody's single and independent. So, you know, back 20, 30, 40 years ago, even though a teacher didn't make much money, they usually had a partner who made money. So it's not that big of a deal. But now everyone's single, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. Let's not bullshit each other. So now you're single, you're a teacher, which everyone knows you don't make a lot of money. Yeah, good luck, you know? And then you're spending all day long. As a teacher, you're basically, like, yeah, you might have a weekend day off, but you don't have much time off. My brother's wife's a teacher, and she's always working, literally, even at home. It's like nonstop. And also, real quick, any teachers watching this, apparently new teachers in the state of Florida, at least, no pension. Yeah, no pension. Yeah, sure, you get a little 401k, big deal. It's a joke, you know? No pension? I don't even see why you would even do that. You're going to have to teach. Absolutely not, man. That's crazy. You guys tell me if I'm wrong if you're a teacher and you know what's up, but that's a little inside gossip around the water cooler from a teacher that I know. This guy goes, look for jobs that are okay. This one was about losing jobs and layoffs. He goes, look for jobs that are and will always be a necessity in the function of society. Boom. Job security. Yeah, that makes sense, but when technically teachers are it's a necessity, right? Kinda, you would think. But they can't even make enough to live. Yeah, you'll always have a job, but you'll never be able to afford anything. Good luck. Welcome to the system. So, yeah, he's right about that, but think about all these teachers. This guy says a lot of good stuff. We're going to get back to this gentleman. But just think about that for a second. It's like, yeah, you got job security, but now no pension? What security is there? That's the whole reason of being a teacher, so that by the time you're 60, you're set for the rest of your life. You know, 401k, cool, but a pension's a totally different story. Anyways.
If the kids don't even respect you, how are they going to learn from you? If the kids don't even respect school, why are they in school?
When you see me say you gotta say what's up.
How I get my students to
This is messed up. I know we just switched gears here, but just get a grip. This never happened in my schooling. Not once. Nothing of this nature. And if you don't know the song they're singing, it's called Pound Town. And it's basically just about being a hoe and getting ran through. So this is how you have to gain these kids' attention in school. It's actually quite mind-boggling.
attention.
If you see me and you trying to see what's up. If you see me and you trying to say what's up.
You're trying to see me. You're trying to see me.
And they are asking me, can we hear pound?
Oh, yeah, the song's called Pound Town. Could you imagine? Hey, Mom, guess what I learned? Huh? What'd you learn, Johnny? I learned how to back it up and dump it, Mom. Oh, my God. Sorry I lost my top a little bit there. A little bit of showmanship. Nothing serious, okay? Let's have some fun. But, man, that is rich. It is rich. I love it.
What to do? I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen.
We need to, like, if you want teachers to start coming back, you need to up their pay and start putting discipline back in our schools, because a lot of these schools are like fucking zoos, okay?
You know what's crazy, man? Like, I basically mentally dropped out of school in about the 9th grade. First of all, I went to private school up until 8th grade. So when I went to public school, everything I was learning in 9th grade and 10th grade, I already learned at a private school in 6th and 7th grade. So think about that for a second. Kind of mind-boggling that I was so way ahead of public school. That's the majority of people. So just think about that for one moment. And I will say, though, at least when I was in school, don't get me wrong, there was always some people that act out, lash out, yell at the teacher. That's always been a thing. But, you know, at least I had a little respect. Even like people like me who wouldn't do their work or would skip school, we at least had respect for the you know what I mean? It's just something your parent, like, it's just common sense. But that's kind of like gone way out the window. Like, apparently, dude, I remember a real quick story. We'll get back to this, gentlemen. In 10th grade, I was starting to skip school a lot. But let me tell you, I was really happy I did not skip school this day. So I'm in this one class, and a lot of people didn't like this teacher that we had. I didn't care. I still treated them with respect. I have no big deal. I don't want any beef. You know, like, there's no need for that. But anyways, this one guy in my class decided he had enough with this teacher. So middle class, he walks up to this lady and cracks an egg right over her head. Middle of geometry. Yeah. Talk about being obtuse. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm really glad I didn't skip school, but I got to tell you, I felt really bad for that. And I feel like nowadays, forget it. I'm sure much worse stuff's going on. Like, I'm sure it's just gotten 10 times worse.
Because the kids are running around doing whatever they want. The teachers can't really do anything. They know they can't send them to the office or they're going to get chewed out by the administration. And it just gets old. So I think from this moment forward, like, I'm just not going back into the education system until a lot of shit changes.
I don't blame them whatsoever. I don't blame them at all. And you ain't getting paid nothing. Like, what's the point? Like, you got to be out of your mind. Go get disrespected all day and get paid nothing? Anybody in here, guys? Makes sense to me. This dude, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, he's actually a Patreon member. I appreciate you, brother. He goes, the only true influences are a mother or father involved in the child's life and their immediate close family. Yes, you would think so. And honestly, it's kind of true, because even if you steer away a little bit, middle school, high school, you start getting a little rebellious, it does start there. Because, you know, I've acted out in my life. I've done some things. But as you get older, you go, oh, my God, I'm so happy my parents, like, taught me all these fundamentals. So he's got a huge point. But now we live in an age, though, where, you know, you're getting raised by social media too, and before too, it was by the TV, MTV, all that back then. Same shit, in a sense, same thing kind of. But dude's got an excellent point, man. You know, it does fall on the parents too, like for real though.
Work, they play memes on their phone. It's all just a joke to them, and the only reason why they're at school is not to learn, but just to hang out with their friends.
Literally, how many people here, only reason school was even really worth it? Your friends were there. Makes sense to me. That's why I kept showing up until I got a car. And then I never went back. I did graduate, but by a thread. And it wasn't because I didn't respect the teachers. I just had this thing in my head where I'm like, I've learned enough. I think I've learned enough. All this other stuff just seems extra to me. But yeah, like, for instance, the teacher that I know, that I'm friends with, one night we're having dinner, and me and my boy and his wife, which is the teacher, all of a sudden she gets these prank calls from students. Yeah. So, and the making memes thing, oh, dude, it's a whole nother level. You didn't even have an opportunity to make a meme about a teacher when I was in school. Like, forget it. I can't even really imagine. Like, dude, if you go type in teachers quitting on YouTube or TikTok or any of that stuff, dude, it's a laundry list of things. I'm sure there's some beautiful stories out there. I might have to go check some more out, skim through, see if I can find anything gnarly.
And that's the reality of the situation. Like, I don't get how any sane person could want to be a teacher these days. It just makes no sense to me, because back in the day, I thought teachers had a chance to change the world, to help the next upcoming generation. But the fact of the matter is, social media and everything else has ruined these kids.
I agree with him. This guy's got a good point, too. He goes, Adrian Roberts goes, can't blame these young ones. When normal jobs are not rewarding anymore and the goalpost moves each time, but I hope nobody would complain when we have a lack of or a labor shortage. He goes, he's going to stick with his profession. Yeah, like most of what used to work is no longer working. Even the teachers can't make it by. So, when you think about it, especially, when you're 12 to about 15, you start actually really seeing the bullshit for what it's worth, at least in my world. You start calling hocus pocus on everything, You're like, well, you lied to me about Santa Claus. Okay, let's not even talk about that whole stork situation when the stork dropped me off. Okay, you feel like you lied to almost. So yeah, you really can't blame the young cats. Honestly, even the teachers. It's like, how are you supposed to take advice from people, especially when you hit high school? You realize, like, how am I going to take information from this person when they can't even barely survive on their own? So anyways, yeah. Shout out to Tony Armstrong, too. What's up, brother? I appreciate you. Always commenting.
To teach.
So that's something to think about. But let's go ahead and let's end on this lady here, because this one right here really, she hits it on the head. And it's kind of sad when you really think about it, especially if you ever, we've all have the capability to be disrespectful to somebody. I've done it. I've messed up. I get it. But I think that's like the biggest problem we're facing is just having a little bit of decency and respect for one another. Whether the teacher's not being respectful or the kids, either way, let's listen to what this lady's got to say. It's kind of sad.
Teaching broke my brain. It broke my brain. It shattered my heart because I love teaching, but I hate this system. Hi, teacher quit talk. I quit teaching last week, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions since then. In the American public school system, as I now understand and have seen, it is not a sustainable job. It lasted 5 years and like 20 days or something like that. I literally had to have my therapist tell me that it was okay to quit. She was like, Tess, you're an adult. You can quit your job.
That's the messed up part, is teachers nowadays. Imagine you're a teacher, right? I'm Mr. Morgan. I'm teaching a class. And I can't even gain respect from 15-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, think about that for a second. And then this lady here, she literally doesn't even see herself as an adult. That's crazy. Because you're teaching the youth. That's something to think about. Maybe I'm tripping.
With teaching, you're not taught that it's a job. You're taught that it's your calling and it's what you were born to do, and we need you teachers. But in my mind, now I've seen it's all just a facade that they put on into believing that you are appreciated and respected. Teaching is one of the most important jobs in the world. You are some of those first human interactions that these children are having before they go out into the scary real world, where everything comes down to money and greed and, like, sounds pretty negative, but I don't want to be a part of the scam that America is in terms of at least jobs. I don't want my job to be my life anymore. I don't want my job to be my personality anymore. I have no idea who Tess is or anything without teaching. Living paycheck to paycheck as a teacher. Just spend all my money on DoorDash because I had unhealthy habits for coping with depression and anxiety. Basically, they did not accept my resignation. So again, in my head, I'm like, shoot, like, I'm gonna have to go back. But no, I do not have to go back. Why do they want someone back that was literally mentally at her lowest? They want that person to be in a classroom taking care of the kids? Like,
I mean, just think about that. They got somebody who can barely... It makes sense, you know? What, are they going to want strong teachers out there who are going to, like, really teach you something and also be firm with you and all that? And how could you even do that if you're mentally breaking down and you can't even afford life. Like, things are already hard enough. Now do it when you're broke. Yeah, I don't wish that on anybody. And to be real with you, before we get to these last comments here, my whole life of schooling, 12 grades or however many there were, I only had 2 teachers that actually taught me something worthwhile. And one of them, I'm going to end on this note in these comments, was in 12th grade. I got kicked out of my school and I had to go to a special school, which was in the hood. It was kind of like last chance to dance school. But I was one of 2 white people in the entire school. And it was really a shock to the level of education. Because the school I used to go to, I'm smart, but I'm not like top grades. But in this school, I'm like the top dog. I'm valedictorian in the school. You know what I mean? They actually called it top dog. Classic, right? So, but I remember this one teacher, we're in class, name was Miss Waldron. And she ended up snapping one day because there was 3 students in my class that all had kids in 12th grade. And, everybody in this school, they're not well educated. So she snaps one day and just starts listing off everything you're going to need to pay for and do as an adult. And I think that was the best teacher I ever had. And she told us straight to our faces. She's like, look, I'm here to help you guys, but I'm also here to help myself. And you're going to have to learn how to do this. She goes, I don't work 2 jobs for fun so I can hang out with you guys and be your second mom. And that really hit me, man. I learned a lot from that woman. I really did. And if she's still out there, I hope to run into her again because I really would like to thank her. And another dude, I forget his name, but he's a math wizard. Basic math, man. This guy. Not algebra. Regular math that most people need to know. This dude, yeah, he was good. Anyways, this guy goes, I despise teachers because of my school experience. Now, whenever I see Zoomers go psycho on teachers, a part of him smiles. Well, that's just sad. And I do get it. There's some evil people out there, no matter which way you look at it. And it looks like he had some pretty bad teachers. I never once had a teacher ever tell me anything like I wasn't going anywhere, you're a loser. Not once, so I never dealt with that. But I'm sure it has happened. And it's unfortunate because I feel like it happens way more nowadays. So I'm sure that guy's going to be smiling a bunch because all the Zoomers that are just going off on their teachers. This guy goes, I thought your channel was sketchy propaganda at first, but when you mentioned your dad teaching you how to make that bread, that shit was real. By the way, your channel's going to blow up. Well, thank you. I'm glad I could exceed your unexpectations of me, I guess. But he's got a point because my parents were a little bit different. My dad owned his own business, hustler, and my mother worked a office job. And my mom would always say, you're not meant for this office life. Don't ever do it. She wanted me to be the funny Tom Cruise, right? And then my dad was always like, you're going to need to own your own business one day. Or you're going to need to learn how to work with people and not for people. And that didn't make sense at first. It made sense later down the road. Because imagine being a teacher, right? You're working for people, but imagine when you come into class, no one wants to be there. Except for maybe a couple kids. So it's not like they could work together. It's like the kids hate being here, and then the teacher is now not wanting to be here either. It's not a good work environment. It's just not going to help anybody. But where if you really wanted to learn and the person really wanted to teach and everyone has the incentive, it would be like this perfect thing. You'd look forward to class. You're like, I'm going to learn some shit. We're going to have a good time. Let's get somewhere with this. But anyways, yeah, my parents definitely helped me out a bunch when it came to learning real life. That's for sure. My 15th birthday present from my mom was a interview at Domino's that she set up. She goes, you get your first job. Happy birthday. I love you. And then they gave me presents too, but it was kind of funny because she's like, you're going to have to learn how to do this because you better learn now versus later. Because a lot of my friends didn't have to get to jobs till they were way older. So I was way ahead of them by then. this dude CDK is always commenting. He goes, 2024 is going to be rough for majority of people. People losing jobs, the cost of living, different parts of the world at war. The earth is an absolute dumpster fire. Yeah. And this is what we're going to have to teach our kids. You know, you can imagine going into class, a bunch of 12-year-olds. You go, guys, look, the world's in shambles. Okay. You probably won't be able to ever retire. You'll never own a home, especially you, Ricky. I'm just joking. But yeah, it is sad. And who would have thought you go all this school to become a teacher to help kids, and you can't even help yourself? It's classic. Any teachers out there, go ahead and vent out in the comments. Tell me how you really feel about it. Shout out to all my Patreon members. I love you guys. I love you so much. I really do. I appreciate every one of you. I have 48 members now. And I'm going to post content there. I'm sorry. It's coming. I'm going to do something special for you guys. Anyways, good talk. Here, take a hit. I'm just kidding. I don't even smoke. Just a metaphorical hit, okay? Take a chill. All right, good talk, guys. God, class is adjourned. Class is over.